Welcome to ICS 101. Let's take a look at Word Chapter 1 Greater Project. And I'm going to try and make sure that I do one chapter, chapter 1, or at least one chapter 1 of each application. So let's start with Word. So once again, I've downloaded the file. So it's time to study here. I have, I have my instructional document. I'm not sure you can see it here. Yeah, maybe I'm going to come in and new share, and I'm going to come in instructional document. Yeah. And with the instructional document, it has several steps, and I'm going to, maybe you can, just keep up with me as I go through this. Yeah. But, with Zoom, I have to kind of do one at a time. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to just work on our document. Yeah. So anyway, it says here, time to study. And the first step is to display non-printed characters. Non-printed characters is on the home tab, is this guy here. So if you take it off, you see that the paragraph, wherever you hit the enter key, is not displayed. But this will display non-printing characters. What that means is that when you print it, it will not show up. Then it says over here in the layout, you have to go and make the orientation portrait. Up and down as opposed to left and right. So changes that. The next one is to change the left and right margin. Now there's a lot of ways to do that, but I'm going to do it one way. I'm going to say the layout here, and I'm going to go to margins. And one here is says, well, this one over the last custom margin over here, one, or you can come to custom margins here, and I'm just going to type in 1.25 on the left, and then 1.25 on the right. Click on OK, and that should change my margin. Then it says step 4, it says change this to a non-breaking hyphen. So I'm going to select this hyphen between 2015 and 2017. And what a non-breaking hyphen does is it keeps these 2 years together. Whatever's on the left of the hyphen, whatever's on the right of the hyphen, it will keep it together. So I'm going to click on the Insert tab and Symbol, and I'm going to go More Symbols and Special Characters, and there's something called a non-breaking hyphen. So select it, click on Insert, and then Close. And there, it doesn't look that different, but what it'll do is when this comes to the end of the line, it's going to go ahead and keep it together no matter what. Yeah. Now, that's number 5. Now, number 6 said, step number 5 says, delete the incomplete sentence, Pell Grants, and those with dependents, and it's on page 4. So I'm going to go down to page 4. You're going to go to page 4 over there, yeah? So I'm going to see, so I'm page 3 right now, and then right now I'm on page 4. Or you can go ahead and click on the Home tab, and you can always find, right? Pell Grants, yeah? So there it is. So I'm going to go and select the whole sentence. I'm going to click and drag over it, including the period now. Including the period, and just going to press the delete key. Now it also asks that you have one space between the period and the start of the next sentence. Yeah. So, this kind of a standard formatting procedure. And guys like me, I grew up doing it with 2 spaces. So that's the way I do it. But, it kind of depends. I prefer 2 spaces. Other people prefer 1. Some of your instructors, may prefer a single space. So just be careful. That's the way to do it, right? Make sure you check. Then number 6, step 6 says time analysis on the header, okay, and a page number. So I'm going to go over here into the Insert tab, and I'm going to click on Header. And I'm going to click on the first one, and it says time analysis. Make sure you spell it correctly. Then I hit the tab key one time, then another time, and then I'm going to put in a page number. Well, I'm going to just do a quick part field, and I'm going to type in page number. There's a number of ways to do a page number. I'm going to just do it this way, page. Click on OK, and there's a page number. Yeah, don't type it in now. You got to make sure that either a quick part or, you can do document info or page number here. Then I'm going to close this guy, and then I'm going to continue with my assignment. Step 7 says, change the document properties to include Sangmin Rho and Tarrant University as a keyword. So I'm going to go to the File tab and Info. And then I'm going to add an author, Sangmin Rho. Put someplace else. And then it says get rid of the first one. So I'm going to right button click and remove that person. Then it says something about, keywords. Now, even if I expand the show all properties, it doesn't say keyword in here, What a keyword is when you search for a document, so it's on your computer and you want to search for it. Keywords will help you to find it. So you can type your keywords under tag. And this one, they want you to type in Tarrant University. And again, you have to spell it exactly the way it wants it. So we're done with this. And then I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm going to go to the next step. Then it says put in a watermark, AAEA blue color. A watermark is simply, and I'm going to click on the insert design tab, sorry. A watermark is kind of like an underlying kind of text. Usually we put things like confidential or draft, just to let the reader know in what state the document's in. We usually take out a watermark before it is complete to find your documents finalized. Yeah. So I'm going to come here, custom watermark. It's a text watermark. I'm going to type in AAEA, and it says the color is blue of the standard colors. So blue, and I'm going to apply it. And I'm going to close it. See how it comes out over here? That's a watermark. Now, step 9 says, you gotta check for spelling. Now, in Office 365 and in Word 2019, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to click on the Review tab, and now there's something called an editor. So not spell check, just an editor. So I'm going to click on it, and it says I have 3 spelling concerns. So I'm going to click on the spelling, and it's going to take me to the first one. It says the, TH, yeah, I think it's the. So I'm going to click on the. Then it moves to the next one, and I think, yeah, I think it's surmise, not surmise, surmise. And then it goes one more. It says further. Yeah, I think it's further. So I'm going to click on that. Now rechecks it, all these green checks over here. And there's one formality one, which is kind of like making sure in the proper tense, but we don't need to check that. So I'm going to close this guy, and we move on to step number 10. And it says, look for the word agree at the end of the second body paragraph on the first page. So I'm going to go to page number 1, make sure I'm on page number 1, and it's on the end of the second paragraph, agree. So I'm going to select it. And there's a lot of ways to do this one too, but they want a synonym. They want you to consider using another word to expand your vocabulary. So if you find yourself using the same word over and over again, you might want to do this. Maybe one word at a time. You right button click on it, go to synonym, and it says, oh yeah, I think a better word here is concur. So there I do that, and it changes it. Yeah, almost done here. Then it says over there, add a footer and type the author's name, Sangmin Rho. So I'm going to again go to the insert tab, and I'm going to go to footer, click here, and I'm going to type in Sangmin Rho. Type it in now, yeah? Then I'm going to close my header footer, and I'm going to go to step number 13. And what it says is make sure that the header footer do not display on the first page. So if I skipped a step here. Sorry, I skipped a step. It said over here on step 11, sorry, I missed that, that I need to go to the very top of the document, and I need to put in a page break. So I'm going to insert tab, page break. What that does is create a blank page from where you were, in front of where you were. And I'm going to click here. Now, there is another document there called cover, So I'm going to go to my PC and I'm going to look at this cover document. And on that document, there's some text. Now, normally we would just kind of copy and paste this in, but the way that this exercise wants you to do it is another way, and it's called insert from an object. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to the insert tab. Then I'm going to look for object all over on the right-hand side. Click here, and then I'm going to say text from file. I'm going to find my document, which is on my desktop cover. Click on insert, and the words come in. So all the words from that document came in here. It just so happens there were just relatively few words. But that's the way you do it. Insert object. Insert object text from file. So it's another way, yes. Most of the time we're going to do a copy and paste thing, So I'm going to stay here on this page over here. Notice that there is a header, and then there's a footer on this first page. Well, what they want you to do is make sure that it does not display on the first page. It displays on all the other pages, that's fine, but it doesn't want you to display it on the first page. So I'm going to click, make sure I'm on the first page. Then I'm going to go to header over here. You can do footer too, and I'm going to do edit header. And what that does is it opens up the header footer tab, and then I'm going to check this box here called different on the first page. Click. So what that does is make sure that on the first page is different from the rest of your document. You see how they all have a header footer except for the first page. Now the first page doesn't have it. So now I'm done with that. I'm going to go ahead and close that guy, and I think I'm done with my assignment. Oh, they want you to do one more thing, even though there are no points assigned to this task, because it's really hard to check my IT lab to check for, but they want you to check for accessibility. So I'm going to click on File. I'm going to click on Info again. And then I'm going to click here on this little arrow here, and I'm going to look at Check Accessibility. What Check Accessibility does is check your document for any issues that may arise that may make it difficult for people with certain kind of disabilities to read your document. So what that does, it kind of takes a look at it. If you have any issues that are listed here and it asks you to change it or recommend changes, right now we have no issues, so that's great. So I'm just going to close this. I'm going to go and save it. And then I'm going to go to my grader project. So I'm going to go to week 2, module 1. And I'm going to go to my, I make sure I got to go and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that, I'm going to go a new share, and I'm going to come here actually. And then here, click on this guy here. And again, we'll go to Word. Let's go back here. Let's go see. Yeah, the Word. Gotta make sure I'm there. Yeah. And then I'm going to choose my file. Desktop student. I'm going to upload it. And I'm going to go and submit for grading. Okay, do that. Now I'm going to go back to my graded project here. And I'm going to go and look for view submissions. Look for my stuff here. Let's go see. And then look at down here. Oh. Well, I think I'm in here someplace. But anyway, I think I did it correctly. So I'm going to end this here.